Hey guys, it's Ramon from Eclectic Emissary, and we are here, just arrived in Amman, Jordan for the first time, and we're going to share all our best tips and tricks so you can come and visit yourself, man. This country is filled with so much natural beauty, landscapes, and history, so it's going to be an awesome trip. Anyway, let's get right into it. Jordan is a land where the echoes of ancient civilizations meet the warmth of modern hospitality. It is nestled in the heart of the Middle East and officially known as the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. The country is renowned for its dramatic landscapes, ancient ruins of Petra, which is one of the 7 wonders of the world, and some of the friendliest locals around. Here are some of the best travel tips we learned from our trip across the entire country, so you'll know exactly what to expect. One of the first questions you get when thinking of visiting Jordan is the country safe? And I have to say, it is a resounding yes. This is one of the safest countries around, especially in the Middle East. It has one of the most liberal governments and political stability and extremely low crime rates. And we never felt any kind of issues or anything. All right, so first stop, we checked into our hotel at the Dead Sea, and it's actually pretty awesome. Not gonna lie, all you gotta do is get a taxi straight from the airport. It was only like around $50. Not bad for like a 40-minute ride. There's also Uber as an option, but I think that's a little bit more expensive. But I think if you just ask around different booths, you'll probably get a decent rate. All right, so we signed up for this tour, and it basically takes you to all of the best things that there are to do in Jordan, man. And we're going to start with Petra. There's the desert, Wadi Rum, and also the Dead Sea as well. So highly recommend it. Definitely check it out in the link I'll have there. But the trip from Amman city, they pick you up basically in a van, just a few people, and it should be 3 hours to Petra from Amman city. And there is a halfway point about an hour and a half through, where there's a rest stop, a bunch of souvenirs and snacks, and a bunch of cool stuff to buy. So yeah, let's check it out. Jordan receives over 6 million tourists a year, visiting thousands of archaeological sites across the country. We traveled from top to bottom of the entire country and never felt any safety concerns. Even being less than 200 kilometers away from the current conflict in Gaza, everyday life seemed surprisingly unaffected at all. So I would encourage anyone interested in seeing the world-class attractions of Jordan to cast any fear of doubts aside and make the journey for yourself. Jordan's climate varies across regions, but generally the best times to visit are during spring and autumn, which is September to November, or March to May. We visited at the end of May and temperatures were around 80 degrees Fahrenheit. The sun is often blazing during the day, so exploring the ruins of Petra was a bit hot, but swimming in the Red Sea and the Dead Sea was super refreshing. For less crowds and cooler temperatures, averaging around the 60s, consider visiting during the winter months. Before embarking on your Jordanian odyssey, there are a few essential items you'll want to make sure you bring with you. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're definitely going to need your passport, so make sure you get it, and it is valid for at least 6 months. And most countries are going to need a visa before visiting Jordan, including the USA, which is surprising. A visa can be purchased at the airport upon arrival for around 50 USDs, or through the Jordan Pass. The Jordan Pass is something we highly recommend since there's so much value in this pass. Basically, it grants you access to over 40 attractions, including Petra, Jerash, and Wadi Rum. Depending on the length of your stay, you can choose from 3 different pass options for 1, 2, or 3 day visits to Petra, and they include the visa fee, which is included if you stay at least 3 nights. The local currency is the Jordanian dinar, and don't worry, ATMs are widely available in urban areas, downtown and stuff, but you'll want to be sure to take out some extra cash before adventuring into the more remote areas of the trip. You'll be doing a lot of walking, especially when exploring sites like Petra and Jerash. Comfortable, sturdy shoes are a must for navigating the uneven, rocky terrains. And you'll definitely want to pack some clothes for swimming if you plan on visiting the Dead Sea or Aqaba, which I absolutely recommend since they are some of the best experiences to have maybe in the entire world. While the country has much looser rules than some other countries of the Middle East, Jordan is still a conservative country. So pack some clothing that covers your shoulders and knees if you're planning to visit mosques or other sacred sites. Light, breathable fabrics are ideal for the warm climate. And we didn't have too much of an issue as tourists, but just in case you're visiting some mosque or something, you definitely want to pack something modest. Infrastructure and roads across the country are surprisingly well maintained. Most international flights will arrive in the capital city of Amman, where you can easily find a taxi to your hotel, downtown, or to the Dead Sea for around 35 USD. Traffic in the city of Amman is pretty bad, thankfully not as bad as Egypt. But the best way to get around is Uber, which is extremely cheap, usually around $1 to $5 USD. If you're venturing outside the city and the Dead Sea resort areas to Petra or Wadi Rum Desert, renting a car or signing up for tours with transportation are the best options. Driving gives you the freedom to explore at your own pace and will save you tons of money if you want to explore the famous landmarks on your own. The roads to get to Petra are pretty simple and well maintained, essentially just a straight shot south for about 3 hours. For an unforgettable experience, spend a night under the stars in a traditional Bedouin camp in Wadi Rum. These camps range from basic to luxurious, offering an authentic taste of Bedouin life. Sleeping in the middle of the desert was one of the highlights of our trip, so I highly recommend it. Don't worry, it's less of a tent and more of a modern day apartment with its own bathroom, electricity, AC, comfy bed, and running waters. Plus, you get to see amazing stars and ride through the desert in uncharted areas, which is fantastic. So, highly recommend this experience. It is a little bit expensive, but totally worth the price. Jordan offers a wide range of accommodation from luxury resorts to budget-friendly hostels. Amman, the Dead Sea, and Aqaba are home to some of the top-tier hotels offering all the comforts of modern luxury. The Dead Sea resorts are particularly popular for their spas and direct access to the sea. We stayed at the Hilton Dead Sea Resort, which had amazing amenities right along the shores of the Dead Sea. And in general, I feel like hotels were super cheap. Like everything 4 to 5 stars in the city of Amman was less than $100 and super high quality. So you're thinking, what exactly is the expected budget for a trip to Jordan? Flights to Jordan will most likely be your largest cost, with an average around 1,000 USD. That's what it costs us leaving from the East Coast. After that, food and hotels are relatively cheap, excluding the Dead Sea resorts and the Bedouin tents, which usually have food included. But purchasing the Jordan Pass will alleviate the burden of paying for major attractions like visiting Petra and having the visa fee included. Our entire trip for 5 days was around 2,000 USD. To save money on exchange rates, we only withdrew cash from ATMs in the city. The main language in Jordan is Arabic, of course, but I wouldn't worry too much about knowing because everyone pretty much speaks English and is very friendly and willing to help you. So, very easy country to get around. Jordan is home to over 100,000 archaeological sites and one of the most impressive wonders of the world. There's so much history and culture to discover, but fortunately the country is small and can be explored in around 5 or 6 days. We'll do another post on more in-depth things and attractions to see in Jordan, so definitely have a link to that. Just check that out. But here's a few of the most notorious sites you cannot miss while you're visiting Jordan. Petra, of course, which is one of the 7 wonders of the world. Wadi Rum, which is a massive desert landscape with majestic cliffs. The Dead Sea, which happens to be the lowest point on the earth where you can magically float. Amman, the city and the capital of Jordan, which has hundreds of wonders all in its own right. And Jerash, which is one of the most preserved Roman cities outside of Italy, and Aqaba, which is located on the southernmost tip of Jordan along the Red Sea, where you can snorkel or scuba dive in super clear waters and see lots of coral reefs and other things hidden beneath the surface. We did an entire blog post that has more details and pictures from our entire trip to Jordan, so definitely check that out. It'll be in the link in the description. And this is just the beginning of our Jordan series, so we'll be traveling all across the country and sharing with you some of our favorite experiences. So stay tuned because it's going to be awesome. Anyway, peace out.